Welcome to the Veteran Employment Program for Delaware County Veterans Notice of Grant Availability Overview presented by the Department of Labor and Industries Bureau of Workforce Development Administration. And thank you for joining us. This overview is intended to provide you with information regarding the Veteran Employment Program, or VEAP, for Delaware County Veterans Notice of Grant Availability, which we will refer to as the NGA. This overview will not go as in-depth as the NGA itself, so it's important to read and understand it in its entirety in order to produce your strongest application. The information provided in this overview cannot replace your complete and thorough review and understanding of the NGA. The Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry has announced the availability of approximately $400,000 in funding for the Veterans Employment Program grant for Delaware County veterans. One grant award is anticipated to be awarded competitively up to $400,000. This opportunity is available to entities to serve veterans and employers to increase veteran employability in Delaware County. Veteran eligibility must be determined via documentation of DD-214 or an NGB-22. The Pennsylvania General Assembly Consolidated Statutes, Section 104, Title 51, Character of a Discharge, defines a veteran as an individual who served in the U.S. Armed Forces, including reserves and the National Guard, with a release under the following conditions: a recipient of an honorable discharge, or a general under honorable conditions discharge, or a discharge under other than honorable conditions for which the recipient has been determined to be eligible for benefits afforded by the United States Department of Veteran Affairs, or a discharge for which benefits are payable under 38 CFR 3.12. Veteran Employment Program funding provides Pennsylvania's Delaware County veterans with supportive services to address barriers to employment. VEAP funding allows entities to implement new ideas and concepts, fill funding gaps, or supplement existing initiatives to provide comprehensive, supportive services to improve employment outcomes. VEAP funding can be used to address personal, institutional, and relational barriers to employment. In the next few slides, we'll review each of these barriers in more detail. Please note that the NGA is posted on L&I's grant webpage, which is www.dli.pa.gov/grants. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and their Employment Situation of Veterans report dated March 2024, 30% of veterans have a service-connected disability, and as of August 2023, this group of veterans has an unemployment rate of 6%. I think we all realize the many benefits to hiring veterans, and some of these include a strong work ethic, leadership skills, and a commitment to ethical standards. This leads me to the challenge with employers. Employers are oftentimes not aware of the challenges veterans face during the transition to civilian life, or they don't know how to address the challenges. And this lack of knowledge hinders employers' ability to recruit and retain veterans. For all of these reasons, this grant provides critical support to increase the employability of veterans. The purpose of this grant is to address barriers to employment by supporting innovative projects that offer holistic and comprehensive supportive services to veterans and employers to increase veteran employability in Delaware County. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs identified 3 categories of employment barriers: personal, institutional, and relational. Personal barriers refer to individual challenges. Institutional barriers are systemic challenges, and relational barriers are challenges engaging in employment activities. On this slide, you will see a list of examples of how VEAP funding can be used to provide or supplement supportive services within each category. Please know that this list is shared simply to provide examples. This is not an exhaustive list of supportive services. So some of the examples of personal services might include mental health or disability assistance, Institutional examples might include housing instability or transportation assistance, and relational examples might include digital literacy training or resume development assistance. When you apply to the grant, you will want to focus your efforts on at least one of these areas. A successful grant proposal will include the following. It should have a clear, defined outreach strategy for enrolling participants. You'll want to provide comprehensive supportive services to address at least one of the three categories to barriers of employment: personal, institutional, or relational. Have a clear, defined outreach strategy to engage and collaborate with employers and assess and track how the supportive services provided will lead to employment. Eligible applicants include local workforce development boards, nonprofit and non-governmental entities, community-based organizations, education and post-secondary organizations, labor organizations, business associations, and economic development entities who have the ability to serve Delaware County veterans. If organizations apply as a partnership, the applicant must identify a single entity as the lead applicant. Eligible applicants must be capable of bringing together business, education, workforce, community, and other partners to achieve the overall project goals as defined in this NGA. The applicants must demonstrate the ability to coordinate, manage, and implement the design of the project, develop and implement the project budget, implement a strategy to collect, analyze, and report performance outcomes, and coordinate and evaluate the activities of the project. The applicant must be capable of monitoring and administering the fiscal components of the project. The applicant must be capable of submitting the required reporting elements at the required intervals as documented in the NGA, and also have the capacity to work with an evaluator. Some of the other grant applicant requirements include having and providing a PA-SAP vendor identification number. If you currently already have a UEI number, you will want to provide that UEI number as well. Comply with the Workforce Grant Agreement and retain a copy of this NGA. Prior to a comprehensive merit evaluation, L&I will perform an initial review to determine that the application is eligible, the information required by the NGA has been received by the deadline, the proposal is aligned and responsive to the NGA, and all mandatory components have been received. Final awards will be based on a merit evaluation. L&I reserves the right to take a prudent approach to ensure the disbursement of awards with the greatest reach. The project narrative must be formatted to clearly address the specified evaluation criteria. Applications must include the required documents outlined in the NGA, and sample documents are included within the appendix section of the NGA. Application documents include the application form, project summary cover page, project narrative, at least 3 letters of support, a budget form and budget justification, a worker protection certification form, a local board notification email, and a grant action plan. The evaluation criteria includes the 5 components you see on this slide. For the project design and management plan, please provide a clear understanding of the problem, challenge, and opportunity related to the targeted population's barrier to employment. For performance outcomes, please provide quantifiable goals for the project, such as number of participants, supportive services, and outreach strategies. Under the sustainability section, please describe how the project will be sustained after the grant period of performance. For stakeholder engagement and partnership, we will require at least 3 letters of support. And for budget form and budget justification, the items listed in the budget should tie back to the proposal, and items not discussed in the proposal should not appear in the budget form and budget justification. L&I anticipates a period of performance of December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2026. The grant application package must be submitted electronically to the Grant Services Resource Account by the application deadline. The Grant Services Resource Account is RA-LI-BWDA-GS@pa.gov. The subject line for your email submission must include PY24 VEAP grant application. An automatic email response will be sent upon receipt of your application, and this is your confirmation that the application was received. VEAP applications are due by September 5th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Late applications will not be accepted. The grant application with appendix can be found on L&I's grant opportunity page, which is www.dli.pa.gov/grants. A complete application must include Appendix A through H. Appendix A is application form, B is project summary cover page, C is project narrative template, D is letters of support, E is budget and justification form, F is worker protection certification form, G is local board notification email template, and H is grant action plan. Questions regarding this grant opportunity must be submitted via email to the Grant Services Resource Account, and the deadline to submit questions is August 16th, 2024 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for reviewing this overview, and I thank you for your interest in the Veteran Employment Program grant for Delaware County veterans. Have a wonderful day.